Hello, my name is Michelle Rosenthal and I'm a social worker from Brooklyn, New York. I work in a nursing home. I've been a social worker for 25 years. The reason that I'm speaking to you today is I'm trying to make a treaty for all humanity to sign in the United Nations, for all leaders of the world to come together and vote on a treaty called International Peace Everyday Treaty, going for a global truce and a ceasefire. I got the idea for this treaty after watching Peace One Day. Jeremy Gilley gave a TED Talk on Peace One Day. I looked at his website and I read the resolutions by the United Nations and the United States. And I said, we can just change one word from Peace One Day to Peace Every Day and resubmit the proposal back into the United Nations for a vote. You never know, it may work. So that's what I did. I looked at how other treaties were written. They cite other language of other treaties written before it. So I did the same thing. And I submitted it to the Secretary General of the United Nations, President Obama, and many leaders of nations all around the world. I'm advocating for this treaty to be put onto the calendar, submitted to all the nations to review, and then voted on by June 21st, 2012. If it passes, all the world leaders can be filmed at once, speaking in unison, saying global truce starts now, ceasefire starts now. All leaders can be given a standard order that will be the same for all leaders, that they can sign their name and fax it to their armed services, calling for a ceasefire, and all the faxing starts now. They can just simultaneously fax to every military commander their order to ceasefire. Then they can work on writing the proposals for interventions other than war that we could take to solve problems. I listed 100 and maybe 113 ideas of alternatives that we can put in place so we can increase the likelihood that the peace can be kept. What I did is made a suggestion that if the truce passes, which there's a chance that it could, there's a very good chance that it could pass. If it passes, we will have a global party. All people can join in at once, raising their hand, saying global truce starts now, ceasefire starts now, and we will all do our best to help make this a reality. I'm calling for everybody to stop the behavior that's feeding these wars. We have to learn how to get along with each other. We have 7 billion people on this planet right now. There may be 9 and 10 and 12 and 15 billion people in the future. We have to learn how to stop fighting war. War is old-fashioned. It's archaic. We are more educated. We have to think, what can we do other than war if we took war off the table? And let's just do those other things. For instance, before the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War, I said, why don't we just make a trial against Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden? Why are we having a war? It's a simple question. I said, why don't we show that America will follow the rule of law and exercise justice? And I suggested, why don't we go to International Criminal Court, at least try it, at least make a subpoena into the International Criminal Court. If Saddam Hussein committed many crimes, he surely would have been found guilty. But we did not pursue that path. So I would like to suggest that we pursue other paths for the future so that we do not go into World War III and create terrible problems on Earth. There's a possibility that we can have terrible destruction, causing a possible extinction of life on Earth if we have a nuclear bombing, nuclear weapons, nuclear war. This is an alternative approach, trying to provide mental health services for people who need it in order to alleviate the problems that we're facing right now.